how they designed it. Look at the height of the door. Anyway. Okay. Disable some face masks. And let's hope I don't violate any MCO stuff, huh? Cheers. Can you imagine how would society be after this whole COVID-19 crisis? Will everyone get used to the fact of wearing face masks? Will people no longer accept things like toilets with doors that you have to turn the knob? I think there's one thing for sure. The hygiene standards of a lot of communities, cultures, society will drastically improve. But of course, the stigma as well. Oh, there's a nice Tesla Model S. Lovely. You have a nice car? A very fast car. Tesla Model S. Lovely. Okay. I don't want to wear the mask in the car because I realize from something that people said, if the masks are wet, they're gone. So since I'm in the car, it should be relatively safe. Oh, I love these tints. These photo sync tints from Auto Detailer. They don't block any signal. It's so easy for me to wave my condo card. You know how hard it is for me to wave in my Audi? Yeah, oh well. Do you think I should check Waze? Because I'm definitely driving less than 10 kilometers. And I'm heading to my mother-in-law's place because of course we don't allow them to go out. So there's a lot of things that we have to help them. Same goes with my old folks. Oh man, Kuchai there's a lot of policemen. Anyway, I mean, I don't think I'm loitering or out there violating any MCO stuff, so I'll just tell them honestly what I'm doing. So The fact that on the way there I'm enjoying myself is besides the point, okay? Let's not let that get in the way. You know, that's a funny thing. If you see someone walking on the street with a face mask on and carrying groceries, then you'll be like, oh, okay, that person is heading home doing something, right? But on the same note, if that person uses that opportunity of grabbing something from, let's say, 7-Eleven or basically buying stuff home, and he uses that in-between phase of walking to that shop and walking back home to put on his running shoes and his running gears and all that, and the fact that he is running there and then he is seen as a jogger who is violating MCO. No, I'm just questioning this. I'm not defending that doctor in Penang. I think he is not right for him to but granted, that was the early days of the MCO, and people wasn't really clear yet as to what the guidelines are, because the really strict guidelines were only came out a few days in between that period, because people weren't sure, people are violating, arguing. That's why they came out with stricter guidelines. But the early days, everyone was just advised to stay home, to avoid crowding, to practice social distancing. In a way, he is social distancing. Those who argue he is in the same case as the Kepala Kambing guy, come on, it's totally two different things, alright? One guy is holding a banquet, right? Another guy is practicing social distancing, but then when he was advised by the police, he should have just said sorry and, head home instead of arguing. Because you have to understand how many cases, how many people that the police has to be out there to advise, to ask them to go home. If you waste their resources, that's not a very good thing, right? They're wasting time on you. So anyway, again, stay safe, everybody. And I look at what the Americans are doing in Florida, partying, their summer holidays. Damn, I don't think the cases in US is gonna slow down anytime soon, right? It will only slow down if they slow down the tests or the reports. You see, the thing is this, the numbers that were shown are actual tests that hospitals do, the swabs, and then turn out positive, and then they report it to WHO. But if you look at countries that don't have that kind of capacity to even do that on the streets, India, for example, that's why India's numbers are so low, because there's just no info. For all you know, there might be thousands out there, suffering from this, but there's just no access, and hence no report. So the real figures will always be lower, will always be higher, because there's no real figures. Where is the benchmark to consider what is real, what is not, right? And I see a lot of rhetorics recently as the American government is seeking re-election. All kinds of rhetorics are coming out now, putting the blame on China and all that. It's not hilarious, it's sad to see all these politicians in US. Horrible politicians. They should be arrested. Donald Trump downplaying the whole thing. He should be arrested for misleading his countrymen. Horrible. The amount of people killed by their misinformation is horrible, and everything is on record. They try to blame the misinformation on China. Ha ha ha. China told you on the 3rd of January. China reported to WHO on 31st of December and briefed the United States officials on 3rd of January. China had their first casualty on the 12th of January, and on the 23rd they shut down Wuhan. Actually 22nd was the day they announced they would shut down Wuhan on 23rd, because on the 21st of January they confirmed their suspicion that this coronavirus is indeed human to human transmissible. That is a big thing. A virus that is human to human transmissible means it's a serious thing. Instead of having a personal interaction with whatever animals that might have transmitted to them, when the virus can sustain in your body and transmit at the same time, that is horrible. And that's when they decided to shut down Wuhan. And then subsequently, I think most of the timelines we are all aware about it. The first case in US was in January as well. But you can see in February, when China was fighting the coronavirus, shutting down the country, US government was parading the victory of democracy and saying that it's now a good time to get American businesses to come back to China, to US, the manufacturing to come back to US, and while they are doing all this, celebrating the record high stock market, and then in March all came crashing down. Middle of March, even in early March, the US government is still telling their people, don't worry, it will go away, everything is under control and all that. It's only in the middle of March, when it spiked up in US, that they started putting the blame on China. On the 19th of March, they tried to shift the narrative. Suddenly you see Fortune magazine, New York Times, Time magazine, all these media outlets from countries within the Five Eyes program all started all of a sudden in putting blame on China. Amazing. Anyway, for Malaysia, we're still seeing 100 plus cases every day. Hopefully we'll see the effect of the MCO. If everybody practice social distancing, I think hopefully we can overcome this. We definitely can overcome this. Yep, I believe so. Yeah. Continue later. Cheers, guys. Another thing, you know that Dr. Li Wenliang, all the Western media was saying that he was a whistleblower, but he was silenced by the Chinese authorities for speaking the truth, and then he died, and they parade him like some sort of hero. Yes, he is a hero, because the Chinese courts on the 28th of January, you can fact check everything that I'm saying, already the court said that he is not in the wrong. However, why he was summoned by the authorities? He is an eye specialist, right? Ophthalmologist, all right? He is a specialist doctor in eyes, all right? So he was sending a message through WeChat, telling his friends that SARS has returned. Be careful. But that was the very, very early days in December, and that was the time whereby nobody knew what's going on yet. You know, the Chinese health officials are still trying to gather as many cases as possible to determine what sort of pneumonia this is, because they haven't even know if this is a new virus at all. And he was summoned on the 7th of January to a police station there and tell him, why did you spread rumors of which is not within your field? You shouldn't cause public fear. And he was made to sign a document, say that, okay, I promise I won't do that again, and then sent home. What is the silence thing mentioned by the Western media? Is ridiculous. And that was 7th of January when he was summoned by the police, where in fact on the 31st of December, China already informed WHO that there is a weird pneumonia going on in China. They already reported it. So I really find this whole thing ridiculous from the Western media. Yes, unfortunately he has died, but like any other patient, he contracted the virus and his immune system, the cytokinase, kicked in, overreacted, and unfortunately he passed away. But they made it sound like he was a hero doctor who passed away defending his people from the corrupt regime. Unbelievable. Oh my God. So, yeah. Cheers. Why do you run the red lights? Anyway, do you guys think the MCO will extend? Well, let's put it this way. It's 3rd of April now. We still have 10 more days to go. I think this 10 days is very crucial to see how basically to have I think a transition if the cases started dropping, right? And we don't yet see any spike or whatever, then perhaps a changed put it this way, we will never recover to pre-MCO times for the next 6 months. It will not recover, okay? People who lost their jobs will not get it back because the companies has folded. The SMEs that have folded because of this will not be able to come back. And that's a very scary thing. So, yeah. It will take a long healing process because the economy is all about confidence and activity. Basically, movement of humans, the exchange of goods is all generated by that. And if that has come to a halt, then of course, what? Someone buying a gym machine? Interesting. What? Well, that's economy, right? Someone gets paid. Someone is happy that they get to deliver things, so they can put food on the table. It's like that. Yeah. Whatever it is, this whole episode of coronavirus will live on in history as one of the big epidemics of humankind. Like what Fadil said, I'm just gonna copy it here. There will come the day when we are old, maybe in the year 2060 or 2070, and I can sit there and proudly tell my grandchildren that there was this great epidemic in the whole world. where so many people have died, and the whole world was battling against this invisible enemy. And everybody played a part in it. We all contributed and sacrificed to the defeat of this virus called coronavirus or COVID-19. And when the grandchildren ask me, "So, Grandpa, what did you do to battle the coronavirus?" And I'll look him in the eye and say that Grandpa stayed at home. Yeah, and do nothing. That's the irony, right? Every American movie is about humankind gathering in big numbers, getting weapons, and running down the mountain like a swarm of bees and attacking the enemy. And then cities were exploding and fire. Everybody looks damn cool with their night vision goggles, bulletproof vests and all that, battling aliens. Well, where in matter of fact, the irony was that the battle was done with people sitting at home, eating potato chips, getting fat. That's the irony. That's how we beat this alien-looking thing. Yep. Alright. Sampai rumah. Life still goes on. There's still a bunch more in the boot. Yep. Alright.我要带一个环保袋去，很讨厌这个箱子，很难拿。啊 ？drop 什么？有 rock。没有。这个放进去。你开这个。不要。这放进去。等下先。谢谢。放freezer。我知道。啊，总买给他了。我买的。哦。
ice cream, look.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Give me ice cream, Mommy.
No, not yet, not yet. Wait.
What's ice cream?
Wait. Not yet, not yet.
Can I see ice cream?
Wait.
Good. Yeah. To wash my hands when I go out, right? No. Honey, why? You want to wash your hands as well? No, mommy. Mommy, fine. Mommy's phone is just taking it out. Can you wash your hands? You need some water. Your hands are so tiny, why you put so much soap?
My tiny hands.
Yeah, your tiny hands.
Wow, so many
Bubble,
buttons.
bubble. Okay, right? Wash it up. Okay.
Can I see ice cream? Can
You want ice cream?
Yes.
Yes, I got you some ice cream.
Can I see all your ice cream?
There's a new one. You want to try?
Yes, I want.
Yo, you want Mickey Mouse?
I want Mickey Mouse. I like Mickey.
No, you can only pick one. One, only one.
I want this one.
Okay. Take a plate, sit down. Peter, hello. Careful.
Yummy. I like eating this chocolate. Mickey Mouse chocolate.
Hold this. Hold this for me. Look at yourself.
Okay.
Say hello.
Say hello.
Hello. Too near, too near. That's not a mic. That's a camera, silly.
Mike.
There you go. Show everyone your Mickey Mouse ice cream.
My Mickey Mouse ice cream.
Alright. Say bye-bye.
Bye.